Well, it's me again. I'm out here in the garage again, and I had big plans last time to get some stuff back together, and the stuff I wanted to get together, I didn't get it together. So today I'm going to get it together and get that stuff together. So let's tear into it, see if we can get some stuff put together, shall we? Okay, well, here we are back out here with these two pieces apart that need to go back together. So transfer case, transmission, this is actually upside down. It needs to be flipped over because this is the bottom. So I'll do that. I'll tighten down all my bolts that I had the Permatex securing on. So all these up here around the top of the transmission and all these around this plate need to be firmed up, tightened up. I'll flip this over. I'll probably turn the transmission to the side and see if I can get this bolted back together here on the table. All right, well, I've been trying to figure out how to put this transmission somehow so that I can get the transfer case on it. And what I decided to do was let the output shaft go, or the input shaft go right down through the hole where you would put a router in this little table. So scuffed up a little bit of the paint on the bottom, getting it there. But now I think I can clean my surface off here, prep it properly, and then I think I can lift up the transfer case. If necessary, I'll put it on the lift and lift it up with that. Get me a little Permatex on there, lower that thing down on there. Stroke of genius right there, folks. You're seeing it just the same time as I am. I'm honestly convinced that one of the reasons I've lived to such a ripe old age and have kept all my limbs is because deep inside somewhere I have this little self-preserving voice that pipes up every now and then and goes, "Hey, dumbass, you're getting a little too overconfident here." So that little voice just threw the alarm bells off and just was like, okay, what are you gonna do when you get that transfer case up on top of that thing, and now the center of balance of the transmission is all offset because the transfer case hangs to one side. So just to show you what I'm talking about, the way the transfer case is sitting right now, if we were to just flip it over, that's about how it goes on the transmission roughly. So all this section over here is going to be hanging off this side of the transmission. And as you can see, not 100% stable here. The flared part down there didn't quite go down to the hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip this up, and I've got some 1/2-inch wood. I'm going to put a couple of pieces of wood under there to just give some extra footing for that big flat part of the transmission. But I am going to bring the hoist over, take this over to the hoist, flip it over, hook it on there, whether I'll use the chains or maybe even just some rope. It's not all that heavy. I just want to support it so I can get it up here and just lower it in a controlled fashion down onto there and get it bolted up, and still be supporting the weight so it doesn't all try to tip sideways. And if it still stands there okay, then I'll be all right to kind of reposition the chains, lift the whole affair up, and set it down on the ground. So the voice of caution has interrupted our proceedings for a minute here. I'm going to pay attention to it and see if I can do this without dropping the whole transmission transfer case off that table. So I'll probably set you up over here somewhere and let you watch over my shoulder while we try and do this, and we'll see how we do. So I have now strapped this thing to the table. I've got some wood under it so that it's pretty much sitting on the full wide face that hooks to the bell housing for the most part. I might need to move that wood back a little, but that should be much more stable. I will loosen up a little bit and reposition that first piece of wood, and then I'll tighten her back down. But now, if it gets out of shape, it's just gonna have to tip the whole table over to take it down, I think. So it'll be epic if it goes. Okay, well, luckily you can't see from this view my tears of frustration. It took a couple of tries. The rope was in the way. At one point I was all ready to lower it down. I had the rope right where the bolt had to go. So I had to fix that up, and then I did kind of get the thing jammed with about the last 1/4 inch to go. And what it looks like is the bolt that goes through the lever was hitting against the side of the transmission. And so I think maybe I knocked the lever a little bit out of straight up and down on that that shaft that it's on right there, that bolt that I'm touching right there is the one that was hitting the transmission. So got to fix that, but we got it. All right, well, there we have it. The transmission and the transfer case are back together. The core motor is way at the back of the garage, ready to be hauled out of here, and most importantly, we got the car in before it started to rain again. So it's time to wrap this up for the weekend. Get ready for some Monday action. All right, well, it's getting a little crowded in the garage here, so hopefully those guys from the trucking company can get here pretty soon and get this engine out of here. So we've got a little room to work. So again, Quadratec sent this, and I cannot remember what I would have ordered that would have been small enough to fit in an envelope. Oh. Okay, so this is the kind of return spring for the clutch throwout bearing arm. Interesting way to ship that. Probably spent more on the freight than we did on that spring, but that's what that is. So what else we got in here? So I did order another one of these breather kits because I looked all around on ARB's site and I wasn't able to find the add-on units. It gave me 2 more lines, so I just ordered another unit. I'll have an extra manifold, but that'll be good if one breaks or gets damaged or whatever. But this will allow me to hook in that new breather that we just put in the transmission. So we got that. Oh, there we go. There's our clutch plate and our clutch. So this is the culprit for messing the box up. Man, that did not travel well. So anyway, there's our shiny new Centerforce clutch with our important documents. And you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to read these before I get started, because you've seen me have a little issue with not reading the instructions. So I'm going to set that aside. Set this aside. Let's see what else we got in here. Got our packing slip, which we'll check in a minute. More paper. All right, this is, I believe, our clutch alignment tool. Oh, that's our new throwout bearing. Never mind. So there's our new throwout bearing. That's what disengages the clutch. Okay. There's our boot for the throwout bearing arm. Now, have no fear. I'll get you all these part numbers. I'll link them up in the comments. I've got here the bushing for the throwout bearing, or the clutch, I think. This is the inside spring that goes on that throwout bearing arm. And this guy is the clutch alignment tool. So, no idea how I'm going to use that yet, but I'm assuming in my important documents there it's going to tell me. So, that's it. The box didn't survive very well, but there we got our tool, a spring, another spring, a boot, a bushing, a bearing, our big old clutch, clutch plate, this is what makes contact with the flywheel, and another breather kit. So there we go, we got some stuff. So I'll open that up and read through it. I'll go through my packing list, make sure I got everything, and like I said, in the comment part of this or in the description, I'll get you all those Quadratec part numbers for all this stuff. So just in case you're following along. Well, it's like a Wednesday night, and I expected to have the trucking company come and get the engine by now. So the good thing is I got through all my meetings and stuff at the start of the week without those guys interrupting me. I was kind of predicting that I was going to be sitting in a meeting and they were going to call. I do have a couple of things going on this week, so I got to kind of find out where we're at with that. So tomorrow I'll pull my email up while I'm there at the office and get a hold of S&J, see if they can check with Redaway and see if they're supposed to be coming to get that or what. And I've got my transmission and transfer case where I bolted those two together here. So now the Permatex in here is set nicely so I can torque these bolts down. And then this plate right here, you saw me clean that up a little bit the other day. I've kind of primered one side of it. So still have the other side, need to slap a coat of primer on that because that will also bolt to the back of the block as we start to get our bell housing and stuff put back together. So I'll get that painted up and ready to go. And then I got a couple of other things I can kind of monkey around with while I'm waiting to get this thing out of here. But I really would like to get that gone so it's just that much easier to move this around. What my plan is to get the transmission transfer case lifted up back out of the hole here and kind of set down on one of my little moving dollies so I can move that around. And I do have my engine paint coming. It's not here yet. And I have not ordered my twin stick arrangement. So I'm not sure I did a great job of showing you, but right here, this bolt was rubbing against the side of the transmission when I was trying to bring the transfer case down. This was kind of hanging up on me up here. So what I think I did at some point is these two bolts here go on this shaft in the back, and I think I just tweaked this thing a bit in towards the transmission, so that's why that was getting in the way. So I'll monkey around with that a little bit, but if I do order the twin stick thing, I'll take that out and put a new pin in there anyway. So we'll see about that. So anyway, it's cruising. We got plenty of stuff to do, and I'm just gonna do some of it. So let's watch, shall we? A short time later, two painted parts lay on the garage floor. All right, well at this point, I'm sure I'm not shocking anyone. When I get a little weird, it's usually late in the day or I've had a bunch of other stuff chewing on my noggin, which has made me babble or become a little goofy on camera or when I'm recording stuff. So anyway, apologies for that, but you haven't seen the last of it, I'm sure. So one thing I do want to show you though, is now that I've got a coat of primer on this this bell housing, it's a little easier to see now all of these marks inside of the thing. It's obviously, you know, I don't know if maybe I got a clutch disintegrated inside of this bell housing at one point. There's that hole there, looks to me like it was shot through. Same with that one, there's a hole there, you can see my finger there. So these two holes are all the way through the thing. I still think most of the structure is intact, and you know, this is just cast aluminum, so I don't really have an impression that the bell housing has all that much stress placed on it. You know, the shaft from the crankshaft is going straight through this hole into the transmission, and the transmission and transfer case are bolted to the cross member with that, you know, that or dampener or this thing. So I don't know, is this bell housing a risk or is it okay? I'm going to proceed with it being okay because I don't want to try to hunt one of these down and buy a new one. But I will certainly listen to valid arguments that tell me that this thing took a major blow and is ready to, you know, have a catastrophic failure on us and should be replaced. So I'm not really sure what to think of that. But I do think that I want to get the car back in the garage. So I've got that plate there. I'm going to set the bell housing aside. I'm sorry, I'll do a better job of controlling the camera there. So anyway, I'm going to kind of gather stuff up get everything ready to pull the car back in for tonight, and let this thing dry a little bit overnight. And I might do a little digging on the internet and see what people say about, you know, how much stress gets placed on the actual bell housing. Again, I think if it was really a high stress component of the drivetrain, it would be made out of steel, not cast aluminum. But cast aluminum is pretty brittle and won't flex at all. So I think it'll be fine. I think it will be fine. But if you think it won't, if you're shouting at the computer going, no, Don, that's gonna cause you problems, tell me in the comments. And I will, obviously, by the time you see this, I probably won't be done with this Jeep. I won't have it on the road yet. So if it's really bad, I'll be able to take it out and put a new one in. So anyway, but I'm gonna try to get by without it. I'm just gonna move forward that way. I made my decision. So anyway, time to clean up a little bit, get the car back in here, and wrap this up for right now. So I'll see you next time around.